Pathway to become a professor in Europe. Today, we are here with Professor Carlos Flavian. Hello, Carlos. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm absolutely delighted to be here with you, Pat. Thank you so much for your kind invitation.
Thank you so much. Let's start with a brief questions of what are some of the pathway to become a professor in Europe, such as through teaching, research, leadership, and service.
All right, so in Spain, definitely all these kind of things are very, very important. However, in Spain and in general, in the south of Europe, something which is particularly important is the meritocracy. So that means how many merits do you have accumulated over the time? Um, you have to have, for sure, good research. You have to have acceptable teaching. You don't need to be a fantastic teacher, but also you also need to have some management activities, some work for the community in terms of the university and so on. But definitely teaching is the most relevant point that you have to address.
Yes. You mentioned being a good research. Let's explore more in that case. What do you mean by good research? Do we talk about grant, publication, or how that is applied to the industry?
In general, we are talking about publication in journal articles. So in our research area, I'm marketing professor, is not, they are not giving too much value to publications in books or to develop teaching books and this kind of things. Mainly, the main point is to try to publish in the best journals in your area, in respected journals with international impact factor and so on. Recently has been growing the importance of trying to transmit what you are doing in the research to real life, to business activities. So, and in fact, there has been something that they call transference recognition, which is becoming more and more important.
Yes, I think your point about publishing, when you're publishing books and book chapter is receive less value or credit comparing to journal articles. It is somewhat similar to a number of universities in Australia as well. So I can see the trend there. So when we're looking at journal articles, the one that considered as good journal articles, in Europe, do you go through the you look at impact factor or ranking of the journal, or what do you look at?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we're focusing more the attention in journal articles because it's the place where new ideas used to came in. I think books are more for having a global approach to what we know about a specific topic. And I think the assessment process is not so strict. But definitely in Spain and in the south of Europe, I think in general, we focus the attention in the impact factor of the journal citation report. We focus the attention also in Scopus index. There is a growing tendency also to focus the attention in the index of journal of quality list, the one who is developed in Australia and New Zealand. Definitely the journals has to have a very, very reputable behavior. This is the main source of prestige that you can have to publish in these kind of journals.
Yes, yes. That is very interesting. Let's touch on the successful tips for academic promotion in Europe. So, what would be some of the suggestion or the tips for, say, someone is going to, say, from an assistant professor to an associate professor or associate professor to a professor?
Well, definitely, when you start in an academic career, you have to have clear that the most important point is research. Let me tell you that I would like to tell you that there is an easy way to achieve this, but in the south of Europe and in Spain in particular, as I said before, so we are very, very meritocratic. Okay, so this sometimes if you are a fantastic researcher, you cannot go further because you need some time. Okay, there stopping until some extent the fast that you can go, okay? Because you need to have merits in all the different aspects in order to promote. Okay, so unfortunately, I cannot tell you that this is something that you have to do in order to promote quickly. Definitely, it really depends very much on the time of the economy. If the economy is doing well, okay, the possibilities of promoting are fantastic. But if the economy is closed, so there are no promotions and so on, so you can stay a lot of time waiting for your position.
You actually make a very good point, Carlos, about it's not just about your performance, but it's about the environment and the economic is available as well, whether there is a position open or not, whether there is a need to get someone being, they need to be a promotion or not to, let's say, in terms of a new positions of, let's say, a new university open for up for the position and all that. So I think that is quite interesting when I listen to my brother, who is a pilot, that talking about being promoted from first officer to a pilot. They also have to wait whether there is a need to have a position open or not. Otherwise, they just not opened. Okay, so that is quite interesting there. Now, do
Something,
you?
let
Yes.
me add something in relation to this, okay? Because we are used, for example, you are now working in Australia, okay? But for us, it's not usual to change not even the city in which we have been working on. So this is a common tradition in Spain, but also I think it's replicable in all the countries of the south of Europe. I have been doing my PC in Zaragoza, and I'm still in Zaragoza, and definitely I'm having a lot of offers from different universities and states in, not in Australia still, but in Europe, all across Europe. And definitely you have a family, you have, it's difficult to move all these things. Okay, definitely in here, we just, I'm saying that because we just do expect to have to get promoted in the place where we are. Definitely recently in Spain, so there are universities that they are not promoting to their professors, and they're looking way outs in the UK and so on. But fortunately, I was not in this position, but this is an important point. So the university in the south of Europe in general, and in particular in Spain, is not very open. So it's difficult to move. There is no differences in salary. So we are almost having the same. If you're working very much, or if you are not so much working. So the difference is very small.
Yes, yes, that is a very interesting backstory behind that you mentioned, and it's touched the culture, people in Spain and also in Southern Europe as well. Okay, that is very interesting. Now, in terms of the, let's say, to get a successful promotion, do you think a person should put weighting to their teaching and research and service equally, or which one to be more or less?
No, definitely. Well, the question is that research, it's a lot of time consuming. So you have to invest a lot of time in order to know the literature, to know the methodologies in order to address this. It's quite difficult to get in, but it's quite easy to get out, okay? Because if you are not always in, everything changes. You are absolutely overflow with all of the things that you have to address. Okay, definitely teaching requires dedication, definitely management as well, but the entrance cost of research is extraordinary, but it's the most important point. Is the most important point. You're not going to promote if you're not a good researcher. Okay, but you have to be a good researcher, but you also have to do many other things. So it's like if you were playing an orchestra by yourself, okay?
Yes, that's very interesting there. Now, I was about to ask you, is there such thing as an easy way to get a promotion? But I think you indirectly answered that questions already. So I might ask you, because you're so excellent in terms of leadership and service to a number of journals and conference and all that, can I ask you, is being a leadership doing, being good in leadership or service, is it help you or might help other people to their promotion?
Well, I suppose, yes. I suppose, yes. So I really appreciate your keen words in relation to the leadership, but I have the impression that you can do things, but if you're not doing by yourself, nobody is going to do it. Okay, and sometimes you need a lot of you can see a lot of barriers, a lot of things that you do not allow you to progress, and the people who is with you, and you have to take the decision to go further. So it's not my leaderships, as you say, so arises from the lack of real support from the context in which you think it will be supporting you. So if you do not think things, nobody's going to do by
Mm,
you. Okay, so I think that's the reason, Sam, why I have to done some different activities in order to try to get outside of the box.
yes,
It
that
has
is,
been the need to do it, not
yes.
the.
The key is where you mention is to do and think outside the box when it's come to leadership and service. So that is very interesting. And if our audience can catch that and then can reflect to themselves and do their own plan, I think it will be something that they can make some implication in that sense. Now, one more point I like to explore with you is that do you see a new trend in career path or how people get promotions in the past 10 years or so in Europe?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can see clear trends in terms of research, because, well, you can say very young. I'm very young, but I'm not so young. I can say so. I'm joking. So I remember when I finished my doctoral dissertation, we were publishing in Spanish. We did not have contacts in outside. I remember when I finished my doctoral dissertation, I went to the UK and I saw that the journals in which we were publishing were absolutely not existing in the British Library and so on, or the business school library. And so I changed my mind. I started to try to get in touch and to publish in international journals, because we were in the 90s when I did my PhD, we were very close. We were not even publishing in English. Okay. It was very, very strong situation for me because, well, we have no contacts. I went to the UK, I went to London, nobody was paying me attention. We were not doing relevant things, not in English, not publishing. So nobody would like to talk to you. Okay, so that's the reason why I frequently identify with the people who is starting in the academia. So because I have not an easy starting. So I have to work since the beginning and to get in touch. Definitely, the tendency that I can appreciate is that nowadays it's much more easy to get these international collections. No, with internet, it's absolutely fantastic. In fact, we have been talking many times by
Yes.
email, but it's the first time that we even talk like this. Well, after Inspire the conference, this gives you extraordinary possibilities. Okay, definitely nowadays it's much more easy to maintain these international connections. So I think definitely the publication in the international journals is absolutely different. The
Mm.
number of publications that we have when I was tenure in the university has nothing to do with what we have to do now.
Yes, I love how you talk about briefly, you did talk about how you first started your career and not much people pay attention, but it is now that you're one of the professor who actually being respect, especially when I talk about, say, AI, chatbot, metaverse, your name will be one of the first people that's pop up when we talk about business and AI aspect there. And you also touched about how you actually create value through things that you contribute, such as those conferences, journal articles, guest editor, and all sorts of things. Now, you did talk about you wasn't well received by other audience in the other country at first, but now you are someone who being respect, at least, from myself and many of the colleagues. So how, not specifically about you, but how to become a professor that people respect?
Well, I think respects arise because you are doing things by the people. You are giving them feedback. You are helping them in order to progress. That's definitely, as I have a very, very difficult start with these kind of things, I have to pay attention to these for several reasons. So I try to be very, very helpful to the new people who is starting and so on. Definitely, if you are working a lot, if you are giving a lot to the rest of the people, you can get the respect. In this case, is what we are trying to do in all the kind of things that we do. For example, in the international conference that we organize, IRC. So we try to focus special attention to the people who is starting, because it is always difficult. It is always difficult to start to do new things in new contexts, applying a lot of different changing methodologies and so on. Frequently, you receive invitations to work with thousands of different groups, but definitely you have to focus your attention in what you are doing. Okay, but definitely the respect arises because you are a good person doing a lot of things for many people, and especially for young people, who is the people who frequently they do not have the resources, do not have the people that can give recommendations, suggestions of what I have to do, where I have to go, how I have to order my ideas, and so on.
That is very well said in terms of supporting the young academics, and then that's how you earn the respect from the people as a professor. Now, one last question. So let's say a reflection on a key aspect that you think you did well and lead you to where you are today.
I don't know. I'm really happy. I don't know. I'm really happy with we have done with IRC conference because at the beginning we started to develop this conference because we need we were thinking that it was necessary to talk about these new technologies, artificial intelligence. Well, I'm talking about 2017 or 2018 when we start to work on those kind of things. Everybody is now working or trying to be interested in working on this. But at this time, we were watching that it was really, really important, that this is going to be changing everything. We developed the conference and it was a success. There were a small group of people, and we're still a small group of people. We are not promoting in big networks saying, well, 10 days to submit your papers, 14 days, 13 days to submit your papers. So we would like to be a small conference because we think that it is important to have the possibility of talking to the people who has been interacting to you. And we organized a conference, face-to-face conference in 2019. We have been organizing the conference online and in the IRC metaverse. And this year we are going to organize, after 6 years, we are going to organize the conference face-to-face, but we don't want to have 1,000 of people, okay? Because or 500. So it's difficult to interact. What we are looking for is a small conference in which you can interact really with the people, so you can have connection and so on.
Thank you very much for the story there. I also have been to your conference, the Metaverse version, as a researcher who presented the work, and also as the session chair as well. So I see things in a different way, and I really love to talk more about the conference. Probably I might invite you for the next time to have a chat more about conference and the journal that you do. So thank you very much for your time. And this is what it is like, and also pathway to become a professor in Europe with Professor Carlos Flavian. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you very much for your time and for your interest. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.